सरन्यायाधीश धनंजय चंद्रचूड या निकालाचं वाचन करतील।
आणि सध्या ही दृश्य आपण पाहतोय सुप्रीम कोर्टातील घटनापीठाकडून या ठिकाणी दिल्लीच्या निर्णयाचं वाचन केलं जात आहे। सरन्यायाधीश धनंजय चंद्रचूड यांच्याकडून निकालाचं वाचन सध्या सुरू आहे आणि दिल्ली पाठोपाठ लगेचच महाराष्ट्रातील सत्ता संघर्षाचा निकाल देखील याच 5 सदस्यीय घटनापीठाकडून दिला जाणार आहे।
Parliament has overriding power in relation to the NCTD over subjects in both List 2 and List 3. Fourth, the second proviso to Article 239 AAC provides that Parliament may enact at any time any law with respect to the same matter by including a law adding to, amending, varying, or repealing the law so made by the Legislative Assembly. Fifth, under 239 AA7A, Parliament may by law make provisions for giving effect to or supplementing the provisions in the foregoing clauses of 239 AA and for all matters incidental and consequential thereto. The article stipulates that such law shall not be deemed to be an amendment of the Constitution for the purposes of Article 368, which deals with the power and procedure to amend the Constitution. Thus, Article 239 AA3 balances between the interests of NCTD and the Union of India.
दिल्लीमधल्या प्रशासकीय सेवांवर नेमका कोणाचा प्रभाव केंद्र की सरकार दिल्ली सरकार या संदर्भातला हा वाद होता आणि त्यावर हा निकालाचं वाचन केलं जातं।
Competence of the Legislative Assembly. 239 AA also stipulates that the legislative power of NCTD is excluded with respect to entries 64, 65 and 66 of List 2 insofar as they relate to entries 1, 2 and 18. Entry 1 deals with public order, entry 2 deals with police and entry 18 deals with land. Then we explain the entries. Thus, the exclusion of entries 64, 65 and 66 to the extent that it relates to entries 1, 2 and 18 from the legislative competence of NCTD indicates that the governance structure envisaged in Article 239 AA for NCTD was only to exclude specific entries from its legislative competence. To read the phrase insofar as such matter is applicable to the Union Territories as introducing an implied exclusion of the legislative powers of NCTD with respect to certain other entries would be contrary to the plain meaning of the provision. Article 239 AA establishes the Legislative Assembly for NCTD. The seats in the Legislative Assembly are filled by a direct election from the constituencies of NCTD. The Legislative Assembly of NCTD embodies the constitutional principle of a representative democracy similar to the Legislative Assembly of the state. The members of the Legislative Assembly of the NCTD are selected by the electorate of Delhi to represent their interests. Article 239 AA must be interpreted to further the principle of representative democracy. To interpret the phrase insofar as any such matter is applicable to Union Territories in a restrictive manner would limit the legislative power of the elected members of the Assembly. The members of the Legislative Assembly have been chosen by the electorate to act in their stead. Thus, the legislative competence of NCTD must be interpreted to give full impetus to the will of the electorate. Then page 53. The principles of democracy and federalism are essential features of our constitution and form a part of the basic structure. Federalism in a multicultural, multi-religious, multi-ethnic and multilinguistic country like India ensures the representation of diverse interests. It is a means to reconcile the desire of commonality along with the desire for autonomy and accommodate diverse needs in a pluralistic society. Recognizing regional aspirations strengthens the unity of the country and embodies the spirit of democracy. Thus, in any federal constitution, at a minimum, there is a dual polity. That is, two sets of government operate, one at the level of the national government and the second at the level of the regional federal units. These dual sets of government, elected by we the people in two separate electoral processes, is a dual manifestation of the public will. The priorities of these two sets of government, which manifest in a federal system, are not just bound to be different, but are intended to be different. While NCTD is not a full-fledged state, its Legislative Assembly is constitutionally entrusted with the power to legislate upon the subjects in the state and list and concurrent lists. It is not a state under the first schedule to the Constitution, yet it is conferred with power to legislate upon subjects in List 2 and 3 to give effect to the aspirations of the people of NCTD. It has a democratically elected government which is accountable to the people of NCTD. Under the constitutional scheme, NCTD was given legislative power which, though limited in many aspects, is similar to states. In that sense, with the addition of Article 239 AA, the Constitution created a federal model with a Union of India at the center and the NCTD at the regional level. This is the asymmetric federal model.
तर दिल्लीमध्ये प्रशासकीय अधिकाऱ्यांच्या बदल्यांवर अधिकार कोणाचा या संदर्भामध्ये कोण या बदल्या करणार या संदर्भातलं हे प्रकरण होतं, त्यावर आता सरन्यायाधीश निकालाचं वाचन करत आहेत। बदल्यांच्या अधिकारावर आज हा फैसला येत आहे। दिल्ली सरकार आणि नायब राज्यपाल यांच्यामधील अधिकारांच्या विभाजनावर सर्वोच्च न्यायालयामध्ये सरन्यायाधीश निकालाचं वाचन करतायत।